Today, I wanted to talk to you about your organization's toolbox. As GIS professionals, we have access to powerful tools for performing analysis and gaining geospatial insights. But the question remains, how do we spatially enable the rest of the business? Like we see here, Excel, Power BI, and Microsoft Teams are the tools that you use to run your business. So let's go back to the toolbox and investigate how ArcGIS for Microsoft 365 can help you extend access to geospatial content and capabilities across your business workflows. Today I'll begin by spatially enable Excel. Here we have some wells from our operating area in our Colorado asset. We'll begin by clicking on the ribbon in the ArcGIS tab. We'll show the map, and we'll begin to add in our data from the workbook. So we've quickly added in the wells from our workbook, and now we can begin to customize them further. Here we can select a field within the workbook, and in this instance we'll use well status. But we want to take it a step further and make all producing wells green. So now that we've added in the data from the workbook, let's look back to our organization. We can add in content from our portal, and notice that we have the option to add in the attribute table that's related to that feature layer. So we add in our operated well pads, and we have the attribute table as now a new tab within the workbook. And with a few more clicks, we can customize this map and finish it up. We'll change our base map and zoom in just a bit. And now we have a map that we're ready to share across our organization, either as a PDF or as a new item in our portal. Without ever leaving Excel, members of your organization can create customized content based on their workbooks, add in your authoritative data, and then share it out as a new item across your organization. Next, let's go to where decision makers work across your organization. For that, we'll look to Power BI. Here we have a Power BI workbook based on the production data of our wells we saw just a moment ago. And as you would expect, if you interact with these visualizations, they update, and you can start to see trends across what's going on and use those to make informed business decisions. We can also go a step further and look at the status of all the wells across our asset. In this case, let's look at the wells that are shut in, and the table updates as well. Now, let's take a look at the same data in another view. Here we're utilizing the ArcGIS for Power BI integration, and now we can see that production data on a map. We can investigate it a bit further, and the visuals are still interactive. And if we go over to well status, let's look at shut-in wells again. Now we can see all the wells that are shut in across our operating asset. By leveraging ArcGIS for Power BI, you can extend this access to geospatial content and capabilities, understand the trends that are going on, but more importantly, understand where they're happening. Let's continue along and look at Microsoft Teams. Love or hate it, Microsoft Teams is a big part of our workforce. Here, we're looking at an operating group for our Colorado asset. And I noticed that they're looking for some exhibits from the surface landman. Let's look to see how ArcGIS can help them out. I quickly hit reply, and then I'm going to add in the ArcGIS app. Now that I've authenticated, I can go in and choose a map that I want to share with my team. In this case, let's choose the plug and abandon map, and we'll post it out to the chat. It's now ready to use and be referenced by members of our organization. But what about frequently used content? There's options for that as well. You can publish to a tab, and so in this instance, we can look at the operations status dashboard. This is frequently referenced by members of this organization, and so they know where it's at without having to look through different URLs. Now, up to this point, we've talked about other ways of spatially enabling your organization. But what about the GIS professional? For that, let's go to Power Automate. Here in Power Automate, we have the ability to automate workflows, create complex tasks, and extend the reach of our geospatial data and content. Let's investigate a bit further by searching for ArcGIS. We can see the available connectors from Survey123, ArcGIS Enterprise, and the ArcGIS connector. Let's explore a bit further the ArcGIS connector. Here you can see with the ArcGIS connector, you have the ability to fetch data from existing feature layers within your organization, while also geo-enriching the data, referencing geocoding services, as well as routing services. Now let's take a look at a previously configured flow that I did in Survey 123. So here we're using a Survey 123 form to make sure that we follow the appropriate regulatory procedures and that the documentation is in place. So when a response in Survey 123 is submitted, it does a few things. It posts directly to the Teams chat, it creates a custom report, and it posts all that information back within our Teams channel. Let's take a look. Here we scroll down, and we can see the result of a recent well status update. Notice that we pull information from the form, such as the well name and the requested documentation that be in place. In addition to that, we can also add in links to documents and apps across our organization, such as the Operation Status Dashboard. And for those custom reports, it's all available within Teams. We're now able to reference it where we work. ArcGIS for Microsoft 365 allows your organization to extend access to geospatial content and capabilities. What's in your toolbox and what should be? Thank you.